Jay, that's for on mic reaction. Why are you eating it right now?
He's on mic.
Well, I guess so.
What do you think, Jay?
This is for on mic reaction? Did we talk
We're
about
not
this
we're
before?
not doing great on communication right now. So are we doing the Shamrock Shake as a reaction for the podcast?
Wait, was this brought up? Did I miss it? Am I dumb?
No, not really.
Oh.
That's why I'm saying we need to we didn't have that communication right now.
I was just eating it. I mean, it's good. I'm
Or technically,
whelmed.
keep this in. Keep this in.
Okay.
Keep this in. Yeah, Jay.
Wait.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
That's it.
Wow.
So then I'm gonna try to react to my Shamrock in the episode.
Okay. Is that what we're doing? Is that the plan? I can react to it again. I'll do it.
Whoa, yeah.
No.
Yeah, Shamrock.
Yeah, Shamrock. Shake.
How about this? You guys react to it when episodes start. I will shut the fuck up while you guys are reacting, and then I'll put in my bit after you guys are done reacting.
Just put your reaction to the Shamrock somewhere in the middle of the episode, nowhere near where our reaction is. We don't actually have to do that if you don't want to. It's just.
Oh, don't worry. I do that all the time. I slip out of so many different shit you guys tell me to put in the middle of the episode. You guys don't even know. I do that at least once every 3 episodes. I slip out of a thing. What's up?
I was listening to your dream bit. I thought it was hella funny that you added sound effects.
Honestly, I haven't listened to the podcast in a while.
It was just really funny because he added sound effects, but it was to 1 or 2 parts out of the whole thing. It made sense because it's how else are you gonna what else are you gonna add to it, you know?
Yeah.
But it just it came out of nowhere. I was like, wait, did he just wait? Hold on, I had to go back and listen to it again, have a double take, and I was like, oh yeah. He added I don't remember the sound effect that you added.
It was the only real sound effect I added was nail scratching. That's it. It's the only one thing because I heard scratching sounds and there was the faintest chalkboard on nail sound in the back. No, I think the only couple of times where sound effect was added was Joshua's little goblin noise in the back.
That's not a sound effect. That's Foley. It was live action Foley.
Sure. And then there was the one where we were outside checking out what happened to a sound, and then Joshua was the one inside reacting.
He's like, oh fuck!
And then we just did sound effect for later where we're dying outside. That was one that was also added in.
No, there's another sound effect.
Oh, which one?
When I killed myself.
Oh yeah, the shot and a gun, the fucking gun sound when he killed himself.
We should just do that every 20 episodes.
I want to kill ourselves.
No, it's just me killing myself.
Oh, you're right.
We're gonna have
whenever I leave the mic, I just come back and you just hear.
There's gonna be that one random guy on YouTube that breaks down our lore and on how many iterations of the Chucklefux cast we have.
He's technically this is the 57th Josh we heard.
I hope we get to that point where there's 57 of me. When should we start?
Now, hey guys, welcome back to Chucklefux.
Oh, hold on.
Wait, I think we should do it when we're done eating.
No.
Okay. Start there with that burp. Hey guys, welcome to episode 39. The Chucklefux. I don't remember what episode we're on.
No, we already did it.
Exactly.
So.
That's why I left the space there. I've already done it in 2 or 3 different accents, thinking that I did it in 6, but I can only really do 2 effectively. So
he actually did it in 1 accent, besides one in the middle where he says 39.
Oh yeah, you heard all of them. Right?
Yeah. Well, there you go. See, I can only do 1 effectively. That's the one I'm currently speaking in. So yeah.
What accent's that?
Fucked.
Poor. Depressed,
gay, retarded, disabled. But yeah, the boys were drinking. It's St. Patty's Day today.
Jay, put Irish music right here. What kind of Irish music is that? That's some talk show.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was like,
You don't need to play Irish music anymore. You got that.
Oh
I know.
shit.
I was gonna say I'm just gonna take that. I'm gonna loop it for the next at least 2 minutes, just faintly in the back. What do you want? I give you a reverb.
And then just loop it.
The most iconic Irish jingle you ever heard in your
What's our
entire
favorite Irish man's track?
Irish music by Jimmy Kimmel.
So this isn't going to be a special episode. This is our box standard episode.
Yeah, it's not coming out on St. Patrick's, if you couldn't tell.
life. Yeah, this is simply just overlapping with the day that we record. St. Patty's
Some of
Day.
us are drinking and we got McDonald's with the. I got Shamrock Shake. They got the Shamrock McFlurry.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a Guinness in spirit of the Irish.
I'm drinking a White Claw because I am gay.
No, I'm ass fucking a leprechaun right now. In the spirit of the Irish.
I know. That'll be swamp. Oh, yes. Oh.
The way you have to get into character. Get out to be swamp.
Get out to be swamp.
I have to say your Foley work today is on point, my guy. You're really up there. Oh, get out of me, swamp. Oh yeah.
Get out me swamp. Oh, get in me swamp. Get out me swamp. Get in me swamp. If I were to go up to like an Irish chick, do you think she would get turned on by telling her that like I want to get into her swamp? No, I like tell her that I want to like get into her swamp.
Look, when I go to Europe in 2 weeks, I'll try out if there's like any Irish chicks.
Yeah,
in
just like
London.
find the redheads.
Yeah,
They're like
yeah.
almost guaranteed Irish.
Exactly.
Just make sure you spend like the entire plane ride there copying Shrek's accent. You get it.
It's gonna be like in the middle of the night. I'm like, get out to me, swamp.
Get out of me, swamp donkey.
You're gonna walk up, get nervous, and be like, "Get out me swamp!" And she's like, "What?" She's like, "What, little brown boy? Like, get out of me swamp!" No, I think they'll think it's funny that we can't do a Scottish accent or Irish accent.
I think
Whatever.
both.
I think they'll just appreciate that we're fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
We're appreciating them on this fine holiday.
Yeah, we're drinking to them. This is to you.
Get the fuck out of here, you wee Scottish cunts. Go back to deep frying your spaghetti or some shit.
Spaghetti. They don't have spaghetti there. They have potatoes.
Well, not that one. not that one year.
We're so sorry.
Bro, get your
One
fucking
kind
Dulaman out of
down.
here. Dulaman is the Gaelic word for seaweed.
What is?
Okay, here we go. Watch this. So Gaelic is a dead Irish language, right? And Dulaman is the Gaelic word for seaweed because
Doodlemon?
Dulaman.
Doodlemon?
Yeah. Dulaman, yeah.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Doodle.
It's like a soft D sound, like Dulaman.
Dula?
Yeah.
Dula?
Dulaman.
Dulaman?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
I
saying
think
it
it's
right.
Doodlemon.
No, Dulaman.
So yeah, guys, welcome back to Chucklefux, where at least one of us learn at least one new word every episode. Which one's dusk? Which one's dawn?
I forgot. Dusk is morning, right?
Nope.
Dawn is fuck. I don't know what it is.
Welcome back to Chucklefux, guys. Every episode we learn a word, and the next one we unlearn it.
This is a kindergartner's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so dawn is the morning,
You got
Good
it.
job.
and dusk is the night.
Should we start off with our shamrocks?
Yeah, let me take my fucking happy pill first, and then happy pill is the pill.
Lactate.
Yeah, it's lactate. 'Cause I'm lactose intolerant, and so I don't want to shit myself in the middle of this podcast.
He's allergic to milk.
So Eric has the McFlurry. I have the
fuck.
shake. So if I die, it's because there's a grimace shake coming back and it's fighting with the shamrock in my stomach
How long do you think the grimace spirit reside in your body?
until his next birthday.
Oh, just 1 year. That seems like it's reasonable.
Wait, is this mint?
A little.
No, there's quite a bit of mint in there, I think.
It's like a thin mint.
You despise mint
I'm
in a
not-
sweet shake?
I'm just not a big mint guy. I think it's like mostly vanilla, and then just like squirted some mint in there. You know, which makes it bearable. You know, I'm not a big fan of mint at all.
I would say even as a representative of the mint fans, it's not the best thing in the world. It's just okay. It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like a strong mint contender. It's just kind of there, you know?
You all right? The spirit's fighting you?
It's the grimace.
Are the Irish coming in to take you over?
They're invading my stomach right now.
Grimace versus the potato famine country. Which one's winning right now?
I think it's grimace.
Wow.
Kind of impressive.
Because Grimace is, what? Over half a year ago now? Right?
Yeah. Because it was July when I had it.
Oh, yep.
I think I was the only one that had it, but it was off the podcast at that time.
Yeah.
I wanted McDonald's and I wanted to try
Wait,
it out.
how long have you been doing the podcast?
I think June.
Well, we can count.
I mean, if we're not counting the
early
episodes we did early on,
Because
I think since June.
this is going to be episode 39. Almost 40 episodes in, and
We
a
need 52.
majority of it is one episode per week.
Yeah, we need 52 episodes to make a year.
Mm-hmm.
I think 39 plus 1 because it's special that took over that 1 week.
Yeah.
So 40 technically.
Yeah. We might have already been
A year,
a
yeah.
year already because in the early episodes we did.
I don't
So we
think
did
we
like
counted
every
Every
that.
2 weeks or something. We used to do every 2 weeks for a while.
Yeah. Fuck, we didn't celebrate the actual birthday of the podcast though.
No, we'll do that 52.
Okay.
Because we don't really know when we started. I mean,
That
we
is
could
true.
do the
You put
research, right?
February though for the birthday on Twitter.
Yeah. I can't remember why we did that. Or
Did we
why
miss
I
out?
did that.
No, I
Did we-
think that's what I'm saying. I think we missed out because the first episode that we actually recorded, that's on Patreon. If you guys want to listen to it, is on. It was on February when we
Wow.
recorded in our room.
Like I said, we'll just do 52.
Yeah,
Right.
I think 52 would be more matching.
Yeah.
So it's the actual first year of the official podcast.
Oh, guys, we are stupid. We missed our own anniversary. This is insane.
Technically, we did.
Yeah, technically we did, but we have our own lives outside of this. So
Oh, that's
you
true.
know, let me finish this shake, and
Oh,
I'll
awesome.
be
We're
more
going
present.
ham, bro.
Awesome.
I just want to get it over with.
What do you think of it, Jay?
The shake?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
it's a shit.
it's a shake with a little bit of green mint things in it. It's tasty.
I think we should try the Grimace shake if it ever comes back. It's an experience.
I think you only say that because after you drank the Grimace shake, you died.
Yeah.
Look, we don't have to talk about all my other reincarnations of me.
We go through Josh's like I go through cum socks.
So at least a new one every month, right?
That's a little more often than that.
Every week. Every time we record the podcast.
Yeah, there you go. That's more accurate.
I don't think I've been a sock guy. I've always been a tissue guy.
Yeah, tissue is like the white
Sock
bread.
sounds kind of nasty. That means that you have to give up a sock and then you have one mismatching sock that doesn't go with any other sock.
Unless you're one of those kids that like gets like different brands of socks every time you get socks because you can't find the same brand ever. I mean, you assign that one brand to cum socks.
Hey, this is my cum sock. Bro.
What brand do you recommend for cum socks?
Hanes easy.
Fruit of the Loo.
It's a portable. It feels great.
Portable.
It fills up
100%
pretty
cotton.
nicely.
Crust buildup is not too bad.
The crust
It'll
buildup.
last a while, at least a week.
Oh man.
I think me and Jay have been having a feet war as of recently, where we tried to take each other's we tried to take pics of each other's
You
feet.
think you're not taking this war seriously? What the fuck is this? I've been going whole hog the whole time. You
I'm
said you
holding
think?
back.
You think? Hey, no.
I had a perfect opportunity to take a picture of your feet earlier. I just didn't because I'm holding back still.
He's like 1% shaggy.
What do you think I've been doing for the entire time we lived with each other?
Having fun.
Every single day. Having fun is wild.
Just practicing your hobby.
You're getting ready for. I'm just target practice for the real field, bro.
Target practice.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh man.
Hold on. No, I'm almost done with my McFlurry. And then I'll get on my
It's
ass.
doing a number on me right now, actually.
The shake.
Yeah. I think it's that and the beer.
It's been a while since I've gotten like hella drunk. And yesterday when I drank, I had like I had a tall can of one of these. I was like already like buzzed as shit, you know. But I hadn't drank anything. I hadn't eaten anything that day, so like it made sense. But it was just a while.
I'm like feeling the Guinness a little right now because we don't drink that often.
Mm-hmm.
The only drink I had was like that Jack Daniels like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's it.
Yeah, I usually will like drink like a beer by myself, you know, but I've already eaten, you know what I mean? A little bit.
You're not gonna feel anything if you just have a
and
beer
it's
by
also
itself.
just a beer, yeah.
You look at Jane go.
What the fuck was that? Oh god. Oh god. Oh, no.
What's that fart? He like bent over, like released.
Yeah, he was like, ugh. It was like an armadillo.
I think if anyone was an airbender in this house, it's Jay.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Why do you say that?
What do you mean, Mr. fucking farting everywhere, fucking burping everywhere?
Just because I
anytime
can
you
expel
chance to
air
get-
from both ends of my body doesn't mean I can bend air.
I think I'm an earthbender. In that
Think
same
so?
fashion, yeah.
I can tell you an instance where I actually airbended along with solids.
Go ahead, man.
Well, explain the process and I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah, we'll tell you. what it
Okay, well, so think of an orifice.
is. So it is, asshole.
The air, it's shooting out at a high velocity through that orifice.
Okay.
And then in the middle of that airstream, there's a solid that's also shot out. And when it shoot out, at the same time, it glided effortlessly because of the air cushion around the orifice itself. So the solid itself didn't touch any of the walls of the orifices. It just got...
It propelled itself out
It
of the
propelled
orifice.
itself out along with the airstream, and the air kind of like fluctuated around the solid, which was mostly round.
It's like the magnetic bullet train.
Yeah, and then it came back out, and then like
It's a
instead of doing
Shinkansen.
yeah, exactly. Instead of doing like a constant like airflow that made a consistent sound, it kind of went. That's what it did.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that airbending?
airbending. Yeah, that's airbending right
I am an
there.
airbender then.
So, what's that dead end topic you had, Eric?
It was pretty much just me finding a like a punchline and trying to figure out a way to get to the punchline.
What's your punchline?
I don't remember. That's why it's a dead end topic. That's why I don't remember.
Wow, this is way more dead end
Should
than
we do
I
like a-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you do a
Holy
fuck face where you just like create punchlines and that's it?
I could try to create a
Yeah,
punchline.
do
you
it.
create punchlines first and then you try to make the...
do it.
Well,
things for it?
it was mainly the idea was that it would be an exercise for myself, right? Because like if we go like as a meta, in like a meta sense, right? Thinking about the podcast, like I think we all go about the podcast very differently, right? Like
Yes.
Jay likes to write for the podcast. I don't know what the fuck you do, Josh, for the podcast.
Nothing.
Like it's there you go. And I also do nothing because like I think I try to like quote unquote like improv my like whatever. I try to
Mhm.
just like go with whatever's going on. But I was trying to like make an exercise for myself where I would like write the punchline, right? And then try to you know, wiggle my way and take you guys with me to this punchline, you know, in some way. But I couldn't.
I think the thing that does the most improving every episode that we do is Joshua's toes, because every single time he's doing something entirely different, and it's always just
It's
so
just- I mean,
distracting
yeah,
for
no,
me
yeah, it's
personally.
just distracting, not hot.
Don't look at it. They have
do
a
you
mind of their own.
Well,
Hey, my eyes are up here.
Yeah, you're there. Yeah, they are.
yeah, I can almost guarantee you look at your toes more than your eyes during the podcast, like 100% of the times. It's just
It's
like,
harder to tell with you since you're so chinky.
exactly.
I think I look at your balls more.
He has mentioned that.
Yeah,
he has
he's-
looked at your. Yeah, sure.
yeah, sure. Man.
It's like the laser in Helldiver.
Yeah,
So
like-
you can see it. Throwing a stratagem, spraying my ball. Oh,
Like a
speaking
rail
of
cannon.
Helldivers,
Oh man.
it's an amazing game. Honestly,
Yeah.
game of the year. Like, even compared to like whatever's gonna come out this year, it's game of the year for me.
I
Either
don't give a
way.
Fuck, whatever game comes out this year, this game
Fuck that
tops it. Fuck that game. This game's sick.
The community and everything about Helldivers right now is so good. What do you think of Helldivers, Jay?
I think the movement for it looks really interesting. How you can dive backward and how, like, depending on what gets injured, your movement become hindered in that respect, like aiming and then like limping. I think it's really well done how the damage system for your character affects your gameplay so much, and you actually have to look out for it. Because I don't know if a whole lot of other game
Not really.
that's shooter based in like a horde sense does that. Because there are games that does that.
There's survival games that do that, but that's not really a survival game. Like,
yeah,
it's a
It's a horde-based shooter.
It affects combat in a way that it
Drastically.
hasn't really been like implemented in other combat related shooting games before, because usually like until the very last bit of health you have, your character is completely mobile. There's nothing really going on with it that hinders you, like save for stuff like Fallout, where if you get injured in the leg you walk a tiny bit slower, but that's like stat change. That's not like oh, your character is
it's not game changing,
it's not super game changing. Yeah, I thought that's just interesting. I haven't seen that in a whole lot of other games.
It's really well done. Like there's a lot of details to that game as well. I was telling Bert that I noticed this like a couple of days ago, where like depending on how far you're, like if you're shooting at an enemy that's far away, you could hear yourself like shoot your gun, right? You can hear that initial explosion from your gun, but then you can also hear when your bullet hits, depending on how far away it is. So. But like it's also like true to like the distance as well. So like you'll hit it, right, and then you'll like a second or two afterwards you'll hear the impact. And I thought that was really cool. Then also like you have all the environmental like changes, like impacts that you have. So like say if you call down a nuke, right, it's like it's a bomb that hits the floor and then it goes off after like a second or two, right? But you could see the impact of the actual bomb in the dirt. It's like a small little crater, whereas that wouldn't have been there before. It also destroys buildings and stuff like that too, but that's pretty inconsequential. Not that any of it's consequential. I just thought that was cool.
I know. I think like small details like that kind of makes the immersion a lot more obvious. It's like it's not a super great example, but when I used to play a lot of Monster Hunter, like the environment changes and the little stuff that the monster does will stagger your character, which I think it's hella annoying, but also really, really good in terms of like, oh shit, this thing is so large that anything it does kind of staggers my character because it shakes the ground, so you have uneven footing.
I also like how they did the ragdoll in the game. How like it also affects the gameplay as well.
The ragdoll also like is crazy. Well, because like if you like throw yourself off a cliff, right? Like there's not really much you can do. Like it's pretty much exactly how it would be if you were to actually throw yourself off of a cliff. Just trying to get away from people. Like if you got so many enemies behind you, you're just like diving off of a cliff. You're not gonna land very well. It's a good time, except the fucking titties. The titties bit is fucking stupid. Like that's like a bug that they should get on that sooner rather than later. Just because
use it as an escape though.
I think did I do that once?
I think so. Yeah,
I think I did that once where I used it as an escape to get away from. But yeah, no, that game is really really good. Like just overall, there's so many small little details that like don't get unnoticed. There's like slight changes that makes it almost different every single time. It's a game that also kind of requires you to work as a team. Otherwise, it just doesn't really work. If you're playing with like randos that don't communicate or anything like that, like you're not gonna have a good time because you have no idea who's throwing down a 500 kilogram or like who's throwing an orbital laser or like if anyone's gonna be throwing a grenade or using a grenade launcher in your area. It's a good time. I like that game. I really like it, honestly.
I saw a clip earlier today where it's just like a guy is like, hey, what if we're the bad guys? Like, what if we're like invading all the automatons and these bug planets as like it's theirs and we're like stealing all those resources, and everyone in the server is like, is that treason I hear?
Yeah.
That sounds like treason. And
there's like a bunch of tips.
Down.
Yeah. There's like thought crimes and shit that like in the tips it says like, oh yeah, if there's any traitorous thoughts among your allies, report it to your thought police or something like that. Like thought crimes like kill or something. the game takes itself seriously, but like is funny when it wants to be, you know, especially the tips. It's like very subtle.
It's
You're
like,
oh
don't
yeah,
die.
it goes like, wait, what? Yeah, he'll be like, don't die. I'm like, oh,
Okay,
sure,
thanks.
yeah, no, okay, all right.
Remember, shoot your guns a lot at the enemy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not wrong. You can't,
Exactly.
you can't say they're wrong. It is a tip,
No,
I guess.
It's just really funny.
Yeah, it's a tip that nobody wants.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a tip.
All right, that's it, guys. That's it.
All done.
That's it.
How long is that? Let me check.
That was like 20 minutes.
We're 30 minutes in. I
Oh,
think
there you
that's
go.
a good
Wait,
time.
it's already been 30 minutes? Fuck,
Yeah.
dude. All right. Well, you guys have any topics you guys want to get into?
Let me see.
So, I got a phone call from my mother, my dear stepmother. Last week, I think. Last week. And usually my stepmother doesn't call me that often. When she does, it's usually quote unquote business related. Like for this particular phone call, she's like, "Hey, have you done your taxes?" No. Okay. You better do your taxes. It's gonna come up soon. Also, remember you gotta get your medical insurance record in, because if you don't, then if you don't have insurance, you'll get fined for the year. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
thanks, mom.
Or but then you're
Bye.
too broke.
And then when that's done, she hung up, and I'm like, okay, business as usual. But this time it's a little different because she gave me a call back around like a minute later, and I'm like, okay, well, it must be something else. And then I picked up the phone and I was like, yeah, what's up? What did you leave out? Like, is there anything I need to, anything else I need to look out for? And she's like, how'd you do it? And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, how did I do what? Tax fraud? Like, modern day slavery? Like, what did you find out? Hello? Like, what is this?
How did you kill someone?
And she went, oh, I'm sorry. I just got excited because there's a question that came out during last night's dinner at the family that I wanted to ask you, and then I forgot it. But then now I'm asking you. So I got requested to pick up my friend's son from school because there was rain. There was a storm. And I thought about it. You had storms while you went to school. And if I remember, you either walked or bike, and no one went to pick you up. How'd you get home?
Bruh.
So I was like, I don't know what you want from me. And she's like, yeah, I mean, the rest of the family is pretty perplexed because, like, that never has been an issue before when you were growing up. I'm like, yeah, your dickheads are perplexed. Yeah,
now you guys are confused.
now you guys don't know how it happened.
Okay,
Now you're concerned about me.
yeah. The audacity, right? And I was like, I biked home and walked or bike home in the storm. Sometimes it felt like I was kayaking instead of biking. It's just fucking me on like a seat and then just water up to my fucking knees. I just got home. I just did it. Like, might have taken a shower on the way home, but it happened. I just made it happen. She's like, oh my God.
She's like, wow, I was terrible to you.
I was like, oh my God, my ass. You made me walk 2 hours to one of my summer schools as a punishment. You have no right to be like, oh my God, excuse you? Like, granted, as a disclaimer, my relationship with my family now is a lot better than it was when I was a kid, right? Like, there was some issue going on back in the day, but it's fine. I love my stepmom. She's done everything that she can for me, and I was her first child that she ever taken care of, so I can't really blame her for having some issue to work out when I was a child, because how the fuck are you supposed to handle a whole ass like human child for fucking 10 years plus? Like, that's just a hard thing to do in general.
Especially that's not even yours, technically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't blame her. Everything that I say now out of like whatever is jokes. Like, she knows we're chill. Like, there's nothing going on. There's no spite. But boy, the audacity.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
How'd you do it? I'm like, huh? Excuse you?
Do what?
Wait, what?
It was just so fucking. I was just so
Use my
taken
legs?
aback by that. And then I told her about the thing where she made me walk 2 hours, and she's like, "Oh my God, I did that." I'm like, "Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, you did." And then she's like, "Oh, wow, I don't. Jesus Christ." And I was just like, "Man, time really fucked you up, huh?
Yeah.
Like, you're a totally different person now from you were back then. Weird feeling that my stepmom who did that in the past is now kind of just like, oh my god, I did that. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm kind of like, huh.
Didn't you say back then, like once you moved out, you're like, oh yeah, my mom like hella chilled out. Like
Oh
once you
no,
left.
yeah, she mellowed the hell out once I moved away. I don't know, like there's probably just some issue that need to work out both on her side and on my side that need to be done separately, not in the same household. You know, and time did that. Time washed her out. Time, like, you know, made me understand a lot of the stuff that I experienced as a kid better. So ultimately, great. I feel good that we could have this quote unquote joke conversation right now where she asked me how I did it when I had no other choice.
I think it's very interesting. I don't know if many other people would have the same experience, but at least like for me, and like unfortunately if my mom were to ever hear this, she'd probably like bawl her eyes out, right? And then sorry mom, but you know, whatever. But like my stepmom was like more of like a mom to me than like my mom was, and I tell that to my stepmom all the time. Like she's been like doing this thing recently where she kind of like self-deprecates herself in like front of others, you know. And she's like, oh well, I forgot what she said. She was like, oh yeah, no, I know that I might not have done the greatest or whatever. And like she did, it was something like that for. Remember when we went to Christmas together?
Yes.
She was like doing something like
We're
that
not
while you and me.
It's a friend thing. Please.
No, we're homosexuals.
No, they're not supposed to know yet.
Yeah, they fucked in the room a lot.
Yeah, no, we did. We just like
They're like, hey Josh, you gotta get out of here for a bit.
But yeah, as we were leaving, like she kept saying like some self-deprecating stuff, and I was like, you have to stop doing that. And she was
That's
just
not cool.
I was like, that's not awesome. That's not legitness.
Legitness.
That's not legitness. But yeah, no, sometimes I have those moments with my stepmom where I'm like, you know, like you were more of a mom than like my mom was, and that was like, it's at least to me, like that's like a lot of respect for her because of all the stuff that like my stepmom went through with my mom, because my mom was not happy that like my stepmom was in the picture, you know. And at some points I even showed some like favoritism towards my stepmom sometimes in front of my mom, because like how could I not, you know. And so she would get like pretty pissed about that, but I mean, how could I, you know, like she just took care of me more, and she like showed like she stepped up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, which, for sure.
Like, and now like looking back, you know, my mom also did her best. I've been listening to a lot of like podcasts and like other stuff, and then they just happen to be talking about, you know, like abusive parents and how like they care and they want what's best for you, but they just have a really funny way of showing it. And like, especially, well, I mean, like they have a weird way of showing it, you know, and it's kind of really hard to
sometimes
really blame them, you know.
Most of the time, they're messed up people to themselves. Like there's something going on with their upbringing. There's something going on with their like the way that they think. That is not ideal for a child. But I would say a good amount of parents, even if they're considered quote unquote abusive, they do what they can for the kid. You know, they just don't really are equipped with the knowledge of how to do it. Yeah,
and I mean, like, and that's the thing that I've been trying to because like at least for me, I think I have a lot of like baggage, especially when it comes to like my parents and stuff. I think, I mean, of course, I'm sure everyone does as well.
Oh yeah.
But I think I just have to try and remember that like there's no handbook on like how to raise a kid.
Yeah.
You know, there's really none. Like you could read all the books that you want and stuff, but every kid's different, and no book is gonna be like a catch-all. Like it's not always like, oh yeah, this like, you know, applies to all kids, because not all kids are the same, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that, you know, have to try and remember, and have to try and like take with like a grain of salt, you know. Like, you know, they did their best, they did what they could, and sometimes, you know, when they got upset, like, you know, they didn't really know how to deal with those emotions, and especially don't know how to deal with those emotions. That's how relating to a kid, you know.
Yeah, 100%. That's how I like talk to my mom too, whenever, or my stepmom, whenever she like kind of brings up that sort of stuff. Like she doesn't often, because she's got a lot of pride, but she will once in a while. You will feel her thinking that, oh crap, I kind of I kind of mess you up, huh?
Yeah.
And in moments like these, I like to remind her that, like, one, I didn't have a mom until she showed up. And also, two, like, she did everything she could. Like, one of my very, very core memory and a fond memory about her is that when I first came to the US, I met her before when she got married with my mom, but this is the first time I'm living with her.
When she got married with your mom or with your dad?
when she got married with my dad.
Which piece of your mom?
Oh no! When she got married with my dad, when I was 6, right? I met her and I hung out with her a couple of times so that we know each other. But when I truly started living with her, I was 10, and the first thing that she said to me when I started that experience was that, "Hey, I understand this might not be comfortable for you. If you want to, you can either call me auntie or you can call me mom, whichever one makes you more comfortable." And like, I didn't know what was going on as a child because I was very young, but even back then, it's always been a core memory of mine. And as I got older, I eventually realized that this is her showing me respect as like a person, you know, because technically I don't have a choice. I'm just a child. Like, I can't choose
it's like
whether
happening to you.
Exactly. Stuff is just happening to her. So the fact that she recognized that and gave me the choice and gave me some control of the situation and be like, "Hey, I want to make this as easy for you as possible," or like just a general consideration for how I would feel towards the situation. It has always been, even though it's bare minimum, like a very fond memory of mine where I'm like, oh, she showed me respect, even as like a very, very young child. And there was yesterday I was hanging out with my family, and a family friend brought over a kid, and that kid I basically saw like grew up in front of me. And that dude right now, it's like 8, and he was clinging to his mother while we were having dinner, and every adult around the table, well, I guess I'm an adult too, every older adult around the table, it's like,
"Oh, little boy."
They're kind of like half joking, but like, "Why are you clinging to your mom? You're like 8, you know? You're a boy.
You're a big
like,
boy,
you're a big boy. Don't cling to your mom. That's pathetic." You know, they're kind of like making fun of him, but like in a joking, non-threatening manner. And I just,
"Don't cling to your mom, I'll kill you."
and I just
Don't
went
make
like,
me proud you are.
oh yeah, and I did the opposite because, you know, one, I'm kind of a dickhead, so I like to do the opposite of what everybody else is
Devil
saying.
advocate.
But exactly. But at the same time, I was like, no, don't listen to them. Cling to your mom, because like once you grow older, you would no longer have a chance. Like, this is your moment. Like, do it. Like, cling as much as you possibly can. And then my mom was like, or my stepmom was like, what are you teaching him, man? Like, come on. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, past the age of 5, I didn't have any mom to cling on to. All right, let him have
it. That's funny. There's something you said that I wanted to go off of. I can't remember.
Moms?
Yeah.
Dads? My stepmom be married to my mom?
Oh.
What?
Yeah, no. Sorry. I was going back. I was like, you know, backwards, like thinking. Yeah, I was like, no, my stepmom also. Well, my dad and my stepmom did the same thing. Where like I didn't know. Well, it was more so that I didn't know my stepmom's name for a long time, and so they were just like, "Oh yeah, just call her Hey You," and I would call her. But I was a little. Yeah, I was like, "Hey, you." I was like 4 or something like that.
Person right there.
I was like 3 or 4 or something like that.
Okay, fine.
And so,
but they still can't taught him the name.
Well, the idea was that like, because my dad and my stepmom, like they didn't get married until I was in high school, you know, and so at the time they were just like dating. You know, they were just kind of like there chilling.
Why not just use her name though?
Well, because if I were to get attached to her, then I would have like a name to the face versus just like a face where I'm just like, I kind of don't remember who that person is. You know?
I feel like Hey You's still pretty bad.
No, it's the same. It's the same logic as just calling your little pet chicken chick, so that, you know, when it becomes soup, you won't be sad.
Yeah, it's like that. It's that emotional attachment that I wouldn't have if I had known her name, you know? So it makes sense. Like, I understand like why that would have been a thing. And my mom did the same thing with my stepdad but it was different where like she didn't even let me see him. Like she never introduced me to him
She
until
locked
they
him
were
up
like,
in the room.
Yeah.
well, no, she locked me up in my room.
Oh.
And
He's like,
so,
hey, Eric, call this person for F-150.
call him a 5100 electric forklift. But yeah, no, both of my parents did that with their significant others when
I guess so.
when
For
I was
that
because I was so
for
young.
that attachment, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
one for the attachment, and two, I was so young
And
that
also,
like
they don't know what's gonna happen. So like,
Yeah.
it's insurance, if anything.
it's insured. They don't
Gonna
know
be
how
like-
many people they're gonna go through. You know what I mean? That sounds
Mhm.
terrible to say, like in that way. They don't know how many people are gonna be seeing that would have met me. Because if you think about it, right, like when you don't have that two parent dynamic
Yeah.
in one household, right? Because I essentially had two different households, right?
Yeah.
And if I didn't have that balance of dynamics in both of those households, like having different people kind of come in and out, and in and out would have been very damaging
Yeah.
for me, because then I wouldn't really have any kind of connection to either,
Yeah,
like
you had four
parental
parent
or
dynamic.
yeah. I had a 4-parent dynamic, and so
That's
I wouldn't
double
have
the amount you're supposed to have.
exactly, yeah. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't, especially if it was like a maternal and a paternal, like person that I couldn't really find like a true respect for. It would have been damaging even for the opposite, where then I wouldn't really have that much respect for my dad or my mom, because I couldn't really find like stable, like people who were in my life that I could call whoever I wanted to call them. I never called my stepdad like dad or
Papa.
something like that. No, I never. I called my step parents like by their names,
Yeah.
But the only one that I really acknowledged as like a parent to me was my stepmom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't get her like stepmom cards or something like that.
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
her
yeah.
like mother cards for
Oh, yeah.
Mother's Day and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you're a great mom. Like whenever I take a moment and like try to appreciate her, it's never like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
you're an amazing stepmom. I'm like, no, you're an amazing mom to me. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
So it was never like, I don't know. At least I think the way that my parents like went about it was smart, because then I wouldn't have had, like, if they had gone through like a couple of different people trying to find somebody to like settle down with, that would have been very damaging to me, because I wouldn't have been able to figure out like the relationships or,
I think that's the one thing that I'm really glad about, is that I didn't have that two family dynamic
mhm.
growing up, because like, kind of unfortunate, but
Yeah,
my
you would have went to China so many times.
oh, it's not even that. It's one, I cut ties with my birth mom really, really young. So
Mhm.
that side of the family I only have extremely vague memory for.
Mhm.
Like a couple of times we hung out together. But my stepmom side of the family, they're basically all off with Jesus by the time I came here. Like, yeah. So as far as that goes, the adjustment time for me is extremely short, because they need any adjusting. I only have like the one, outside of my stepmom, the one other family member, which is my aunt right now, that I had to get to know. But I would imagine as like a young child, it will be very confusing to navigate all of that relationship.
I think it's also like, I don't have very strong relationships with like my mom's side of the family, less so with my stepdad's side of the family. And then like, funny enough, the person that I have the side of the family that I have the most connection to is my stepmom's side of the family, and then second on that list is my dad's side, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my mom's side and my stepdad's side, I wasn't super close with, because my mom cut ties to the rest of her family, because she just let family like drama kind of get in the way. And so like,
Yeah.
I didn't even get to see like my grandma like while she was dying for the last like couple of years of her life.
Yeah.
And like only because of drama. My mom was like, don't see your grandma. Like, like she's not, I don't remember what my mom said, but she was just like, oh yeah, no, she's not, she doesn't like us. She doesn't support us, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's my mom and my grandma
Mhm.
right now. But it's
Mm.
only her that's not seeing my
Yeah,
grandma.
no, that's fair. And then my stepdad, I wasn't really like, my stepdad's side of the family, I wasn't really close with, because I think like what I'm getting at is that it's been really hard for me to find like a dynamic between all four of those sides,
Mhm.
because there's so many different people,
family.
so many different dynamics, so many different like versions of people like within like the family like names, not family names, but like their relationship to you. Like I could treat all my uncles on my dad's side of the family the same way because they're all my uncles, right? I can't do that with my stepdad's, like all the uncles that I would have in my stepdad's side of the family because, they're different people. There's a different relationship. Same thing with my stepmom, same thing with my mom's side of the family. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like there's so many different relationships that I like would have had to navigate. And so like I only really had to deal with 2, maybe 3 of those at a time, But like imagine if I had like was actively trying to go for all 4 at the same time. Like I was already having difficulty with just like the 2 / maybe 3, like kind of. Like if I had all 4 to deal with, like I wouldn't have been able to figure it out, or like it would have been really hard. Only like very recently am I starting to feel like to get like closer to just like my dad's side of the family, which you would think like, yeah, it's my blood related family. I should feel like closer to them than anything, but I don't. I feel more closely to my stepmom's side, So yeah, no, it's just an interesting family dynamic, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like any family would have some small amount of like drama and complications and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even like withholding the whole multiple like parents thing, right? Like I'm sure Josh, you have one set of parents the entire time, but from what you tell me or what you have told me in the past, there's still a relative amount of drama going on there too. It's really just something that cannot really be avoided, and as like a child it's pretty difficult to navigate and like process all of that. It's just kind of, I don't know, like human relationships are hard, man. They're very complex problems to try to solve.
I think part of like there was bits to that as well that contribute to like kind of how I am right now, where if it was like if I gave up on one of the 4 sides of family, I had 3 other sides of family I could go to. Not really go to, but like it's like, okay, cool. Well, I don't really give a shit about my stepdad's side of the family. I have 3 other sides of the family whose energy I could put towards like getting to know them.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's actually realistic and like was I was actually able to do is kind of different, but I think that contributes to how I am like kind of like right now, because like sometimes if I have friends that I'm just like, I don't really care about you anymore, I'm just drop them.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I don't want to play with you anymore. You're dumb looking. It's kind of like that where like it's just very easy for me to drop things, and so I think my familial like relationships are a little bit tough just because it feels so easy to just not interact, because I have so many different sides of family that I could try to interact with and whatever, I don't know.
Yeah,
there's like something there that kind of makes sense to me. Not that it's right, but it just makes sense that's why I'm like that, So I don't know.
No, yeah.
It be like that. It be like that sometimes.
It truly do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna get so drunk by the next session.
You'll be fine.
Are you drinking again?
I'm gonna drink all of it. I'm not planning to go to school tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
You ever got so drunk that you piss in the toilet, but you found out later on that it was actually your dog's mouth? That's how it feels like to drive Ford F-150.
You think if you piss towards a dog, they open their mouth like they tried to drink out of a hose?
It probably would. I think once they figured out that it's pissed, they'll bite your dick off.
My cousin, the cousin I used to hang out with a lot when I was a child, has a dog, and there's a time.
Did you piss at it? You brought up a lot of weird stories about that one cousin.
Did he rub his dog on his balls?
Well, no, there's a time that she found a pile of most likely the dog most likely human shit, and she like chomped it before we can stop her, and then afterwards she ran after us because we were yelling at her, and she
That's
thought,
what dogs do.
right, 100%. They just eat shit.
Yeah.
And she got really excited because she thought that we were trying to play with her, and she kept running after us, trying to lick us, and then we were just like, oh god! And we were running away from that dog for like an hour.
I remember my dog, like she found shit on the front lawn and she started eating that. I was like,
Yep,
oh, is she eating grass?
Yep, nope, she's eating shit.
And then I
she just
walked
eats
up and I saw shit right there. I was like, God damn it, don't eat that. Do you eat shit, Eric?
I eat shit.
it.
You like shit.
I don't know. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not a fan of dogs. I'm not a big dog guy. I can respect people that like dogs, and I can understand the whole loyalty thing, and they're like, they'll always love you, you know? But
I didn't grow up with one.
I've grown up with a couple, you know, but I didn't really like.
You didn't own the dog.
Yeah, I didn't really like own like my own dog.
I feel like dog people are only like people that's own the dog. Like I'm a dog person because I've owned one.
I think that's that
I've
applies to everyone.
I've grown up with dogs like my whole life.
I think
this cat thing's completely new to me, like in the last 2 years.
Well, how do you feel about the cat thing in comparison to the dog thing that you had going on for the longest time? What's your opinion as a stepper of both worlds?
I think I'm leaning towards cats right now, but that's because I'm surrounded by cats.
Yeah.
Now.
So
like
you're
my
saying,
parents have a cat now.
is it because like by
we have
proximity
cats.
then? Like
Huh?
just because you're surrounded by it, you like it more right now, but you think it might change in the future if you ever like get
If I get a dog again, then maybe I might go towards dogs again.
I see.
I think I like the idea of like a dog is really cool, you know, and is nice and is fun, but I think I would get tired of it really fast.
I always been really weird in particular about like pet ownership, and it's based off my really dumb personal and extremely complicated, more than it has to be, philosophy of like it's wrong for humans to breed animals specifically to be pets. Like that's always been a bug for me, that like we kind of took like a creature of its own.
You don't like pugs? How their eyes are about to like.
No, I don't
blast
like.
out
I
their
don't
eyeball?
like domestic animals in general. One pugs especially.
Pugs are just
because those guys are just fucking.
Mexican lover hates pugs. She's just like a super dog person. She like almost hates cats because she treats them like dogs, and when you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Like cats just don't work like the same way as dogs do. But I always like try to send her like pug videos because I think like pugs are like really cute and like a really like
in a stupid way.
Yeah, in a stupid, ugly way,
ugly,
you know.
yeah.
But
Stupid,
she's like
ugly looking ass creatures, but
yeah,
they're
and
cute in
she's
their
just
own way.
like they just so ugly, like I'm just like, what do you mean? They're like too ugly, dude. Like their faces all smashed in.
They're like ugly cute. Like there's no argument that they're cute. Like of course there's
Kind of like a
appeal
little
to
baby.
them. Kind of like a little baby, kind of ugly cute. You know. What's
Pugs are like those wrinkly dogs that you just stuck in the vacuum chamber and then you just like turn it on for like a second and their eyes just boop.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or like the dogs that get so much fold on their skin that if you
that's
lift
what I'm
back
talking
their
about.
skin, like they can actually see and they get surprised. They're like, oh god,
whoa,
I can see.
whoa.
Whoa.
You put
know?
clip like only at their head and so they can only see that.
You pull like a fucking Homer Simpson on them.
Yeah.
You just like clip all their skin on their back.
I wish I could do that.
No. Hey, no way.
Oh man.
I don't know. I just feel weird about it. I just feel weird about just general pet ownership and the breeding of dogs so that they're just pets. I understand if they're work dogs, because then...
Yeah, I was going to say there's specific breeds that work for work dogs.
Well, what about like, so you're weird about the whole idea that is what we've done, so you don't want to own any kind of animals because they've been domesticated for hundreds of years? Or you're weird about like breeding two dogs together and like owning the offspring.
I can go into a very specific thing, right? Like, if I am ever to get a pet, right, it would either be a cat, because to me, cats are mostly still wild animals that have lived alongside us, but not entirely domesticated. Like most cats will survive on their own, will be fine on their own.
Not our cats.
They are like animals that are very resilient and they're very skilled at what they do, right? And they are basically wild beasts that have learned to live alongside us,
Okay.
right? Because you can't really control a cat, save for very few selected breeds where people just bred the hell out of them to be just house cats,
Oh,
right?
my parents' cat.
Hmm?
My parents' cat.
I think those guys are they're different from outside, no? They're outside cats. You guys didn't like get them or anything? They're just kind of wandered in, right?
The Persian cat.
Oh, the Persian cat. Okay, yeah, no, that Persian cat, I think it's bred specifically to be a house cat. And I myself, I have no problem with other people owning them. I myself would never get a cat that's like that or any sort of animal. It's mainly because I think that it's wrong because you have taken an animal that has its own place in nature and you have basically, in the most demeaning way possible, genetically modify them to be nothing but just basically a piece of flesh of just happiness that you keep around for your own enjoyment. Like, sure, it will live like a good life, but at the same time, like, that's a whole other creature that had its own thing going on that you have reduced to something entirely useless. If you leave it out in the wild, it will die. Like, that's it. It can't fend for itself. It's entirely reliant on you. It's kind of, to me, feels like getting a person you really like, cutting off their limbs and just being like, I will feed you now. I decide what you do now. It just feels fundamentally
I think
wrong
saying
with
a
me.
goldfish would have been a better analogy.
I think a goldfish would have better analogy.
Sure,
than
like a
cutting out-
goldfish.
making a nugget and being like, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you
And
think
then
about
making him a motivational speaker.
Yeah, creating your own little motivational speaker. You just set him on the mantle. And it's like, hey, wake up! Today's
if
your
you think
day.
about the grand scheme of evolution, that's basically what we have done. We have cut off everything that made them the animal that they were, and we just reduced them to a thing that doesn't do anything.
He veganized pet ownership. Is this actually what he did?
Yeah, it's pretty
Pretty
much,
much.
honestly.
Yeah.
So if I am ever to get a pet, like a dog, I wouldn't rule out that I would get a dog, but I would probably get it from a shelter because that's already an animal that someone else has abandoned. I have no problem with taking care of one of them, but I just don't want to actively support the act of continuous breeding and modification of them personally.
Mm-hmm.
So I will never buy a bred species of any animal just to be my pet. If I am to pick up a pet like that, I would probably do it from the shelter. Someone that has already abandoned them and they're already having issues. And I'll try to go for that instead. And ideally, for like a dog, right, I wouldn't want to get something that's small and kind of just going around. I would like to get something that's
Chihuahua.
like a Chihuahua. Chihuahua is a
I hate
prime
Chihuahuas.
example because there's nothing going on in that head of theirs. They're just a little thing of like whatever. Like they just
There's
make
something.
noise. They just make noise. They eat and they shit. That's all they do.
They make
That's
noise,
it.
they eat
There's
shit,
nothing else
they
going on in
die.
their world entirely.
Yeah.
And I hate that. So if I ever get a dog, it will be something like at least a dog intelligent enough to understand companionship and large enough for me to be able to take it on trips, like taking to places so that it can go on like, I guess adventures with me. Like a dog that could be a close companion, not just something in the house that I can come back to after 8 hours of neglecting them and then just feed them, wash them shit, and then, and then the next day do it all over again. It just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah. No, I get that. No, I fully agree with that sentiment. It's not that deep for me, right?
Yeah.
Like if there's a cat outside, then I'm gonna take care of it. Like exactly what we did here,
Yeah.
Like we just took, Snack in and we took care of her, and then she shat at some kids. We got rid of two. One of them died, and then we kept the other two.
Yep.
Like
All of that happened.
we took care of those cats and stuff. I'm cool with that idea. Like I said, it's not really that deep for me. Yeah, it's not really that deep for me, but I completely understand the sentiment. And I think if I were to have done if I was like, oh, I want this breed cat, right? Like say if I was like, oh yeah, I want an Egyptian cat, or what's that called? What's the hairless one called? Sphinx. Like I want a Sphinx, Like I'm not gonna go out and specifically ask someone to breed a Sphinx for me.
Yeah.
Like if there happens to be a Sphinx somewhere, I'll be like, oh yeah, okay, I'll get that one. I'll get that cat. Just because I'm allergic to cats. So I would want something that's hypoallergenic.
Persian cats are surprisingly hypoallergenic as well. Persian cats.
Persian cats?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Also the what's the Maine Coons? Maine Coons are surprisingly hypoallergenic. Hypoallergenic.
Yep, you got it.
And I really want one of those. Like those. Like
Those are
I like the fact that they're so
They're so big. Yeah.
I like the idea of that one. So like if I were to like see a Maine Coon somewhere, like, whether I have to buy it or if like it's kind of just like chilling. Of course it won't be just chilling. Like but if I could like buy one, and if there's like I can either rescue it or it just happens to be at the spot. I wouldn't like custom make a cat. You know what I mean?
Build a bear factory.
Yeah, I wouldn't like build a bear a cat. Or like a dog or anything like that. I'm just gonna go to wherever there's already like cats or dogs or whatever, and then just go with that. And I think the only time I would ever want to get a dog is if I can get it trained to do some shit. And I don't want like a very dirty one, like the one that like slobbers all over the place. I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, like to train it so that it doesn't shit in the house, or like it has like a specific spot to go shit.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
So.
I full, and in case you haven't tell, we also have 3 cats. I'm fully a cat person, just based off the reason that cats are more independent, and at least I feel like they're still their own creature, that sort of deal. Which is why I am very adamant about the cats that we have in this house being outside cats. Like, to me, that is such like an important part of their lives. I feel like I don't have the right to take that away from them and keep them house like cats, because like they're animals. They should be able to enjoy the outside, like the wild, be able to see like stuff flying by, or like do their own thing whenever, like just like how we can be doing our own things and going to work and like going out to seals to eat barbecue or whatever bullshit. Like the cats should have their own time.
I was so full after that.
Oh,
I went to sleep. I woke up and I went back to my bed and I fucking slept. I was so fucking tired. I was full.
I was so full. I went to bed. 8 hours later, I woke up still full, and I went back to bed.
Yeah. My body fully went into like, you need to digest everything. Like there's no other. You have no other functionality except digest. That's it. I was like, okay.
Hibernated for like fucking a day and a half.
For real. Oh man.
Yeah, that was so much food that night.
God. My parents do an interesting thing with the cats that we gave them.
Yeah.
Where they put them in like the little backpacks, the little like.
Oh, the backpack with like a window.
Yeah,
because
they don't want. Yeah, so they can like like walk them and stuff, and they also like walk them with like leashes and shit, because they don't want them to like go outside and catch something, or like since they live right next to a main street, like their backyard, like that there's like a wall that goes to on the other side is a main street, so they don't want them to like go across the street and get run over or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're also very much like poison and stuff, so they don't like, because they know that some of our neighbors or their neighbors put like poison and stuff for like rodents and stuff, so they don't want like the cats to like lick a plant and then they just fall over dead,
Yeah, for sure.
So like for the most part they're like house cats, and they seem very content with just being house cats. They're not like ever like trying to run outside or anything like that, because I think they let them go outside and like bring them in their little backpacks, but like they've also trained them to be that way too.
No, that's my parents' cats too.
Yeah, my dad is very much like into training
animals,
training animals and stuff.
For sure, yeah.
Like in like a very like amateur type, like not like a serious full-time gig type situation. Do a kickstand.
Do cartwheel.
Salute Hitler.
Yeah, no, he kind of like just very passively trains them, but like they are trained essentially. So when he has his little clicker and they like come running after him and stuff. But
that's cool.
But yeah, no, they're cool little dudes.
No, yeah, my parents' cat does not like going outside at all. Like you can carry him, like start like walking towards the door. If you're just like holding him at the door, he's like, oh, okay. But once you take a foot out, he's like, no.
He's like, no, I don't want to go outside. The air burns.
But he likes like looking outside, like staying by the door. Or near
that's
the
a weird
windows.
cat behavior. Like that's kind of weird. I'm cool with like what my parents did, because like they like take them outside and like they're still able to get all those experiences.
Yeah.
But essentially like forcing a cat to just be like an inside cat and like not allowing them to go outside
No,
ever.
but they've
or like
tried to take that cat outside, but then
Well, it
Right,
also
right.
depends on the breed of cat, because for like your parents' cat, Josh, the Persian cat, they're very much bred to be indoor cats. So it makes sense for them that their most content place it's inside, because it just makes sense. It's what they're bred like towards, or what they're like in general as a species.
but it also works for their situation.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah,
They're mainly at home now.
yeah, for sure.
Since my dad works at home, my mom's retired.
Mm-hmm.
your mom's retired?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to ask this, but how old is she?
50.
Is that young for retirement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Relatively.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, good stuff. I have an aunt that it's my mom's cousin that has retired when she was 35.
Mm.
But then she also was incredibly successful. She was a head accountant for a very large company, a branch of the company, not, and I mean like large, because it was.
I think that's so
It was Disney.
like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like such like a wild concept to be like so successful.
And be like, okay, I'm done. I'm set for the rest of my life.
You're set for the rest of your life, you
Yeah.
know, and you kind of just are chilling.
I
you
think
know?
it's just the time period.
No,
It's
if
a
you
little bit
do
more
well
complex,
enough,
but
yeah.
also, yeah, I mean, relatively true. There's, I bet, less people our age that is gonna
doing
retire
that,
by 35 than people from the 80s
yeah,
that were born during
no,
that time.
100%. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's a wild concept.
It is indeed a wild concept.
I think even if I were to have been that successful, I don't think I would want to retire that early. You know, I think I would.
Well, so
Think I would probably still work a little bit, and until like I like
as far as
know.
like retirement go, at least for my aunt, using her as a kind of example, is that she's retired in the sense that if she want to, she doesn't have to work
Yeah.
ever again, and she
Yeah.
has a steady stream of income no matter what she's doing. But she's 100% still doing like work that she's interested in, So like they're not. It's
Yeah.
just more freedom. It just means financial freedom for the rest of your life.
forever. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're not gonna do anything.
No, yeah.
For the
Yeah,
rest of
no,
your life,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
like I think I would still want that day-to-day
Oh yeah,
like routine. Maybe if I
100%.
were to be that successful, I probably wouldn't work 8 hours a day. I'd probably work like
couple hours.
4.
Yeah,
You know,
just go in.
and I
For a little
think at a certain like if I were to, are you good? That didn't sound good.
Yeah, I'm good. A little bit of acid came out.
I think if I were to become a grandparent and like my kids asked me to take care of like their kids, or at least like to be around more often, then that's the moment I would just drop everything, especially if I was at that point where like I could just not work for the rest of my life, and I would just drop everything and just start, I would start just taking care of, my grandkids
Okay.
and stuff,
Yeah,
and like
I
be
get
there
that.
more for my family and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like at a certain point, if you want to, like, taking care of children and just being there for family in general can 100% be a full-time thing because of how much potential time that could take up.
Yeah.
And it's honestly really nice as like a part of the same family, but on the working side, to have someone there to kind of fully just support the rest of the family.
Yeah. No.
And it will never happen with me and my family right now, at least for the foreseeable future, mainly because, all my grandparents, like, I only have 25% of my grandparents left total. That's it. That's all I got left, right?
How many do I have?
A quarter.
You? Out of 8?
Let me start.
We're out of 4, Josh and I. So
Let me start counting down. Dead.
dead. Eliminated.
Dead.
Lost.
Dead.
L. Dub. You
Four.
have
I
50%.
think I have 50%. I think I got.
Let's go.
Yeah. But they're both on my dad's side. Well,
I'm down to 50% now, but at their current state, I'm gonna say 25 now.
yeah. Let's do this.
Well, if you want to talk current state, then technically I'm at 0.
10.
Like I'm done.
Watch this. Dead to me. And I got the other 2 left. So I really only have my dad's parents left. So
Neutralize. Inconsequential. Missing in action.
casualty of war.
Treason.
Treason.
Abandon the
Japanese.
war.
Nazi.
Japanese. White supremacists.
White supremacist.
Oh,
KKK member.
We're back to the
Straight up
racism.
terrorist.
Fuck.
Yeah, because I mean the
Blew
only
up in 9/11.
was in the plane. Was the hijacker?
Was in the trees during the Vietnam War.
Trees made the trees speak.
Dug a bunch of tunnels down back there.
Was found dead at the back of a Fort F-150.
Yeah, no, the other 2 are my stepdad's parents, and I don't associate with them. So
No, but going back during a time where my
talking
family in China does have someone that's full-time supporting the family,
okay.
and they don't have to work or do anything, it's a really nice safety net to fall back on, and it's someone to just consistently be able to rely on. Like if something goes on, I'm like, I can't do this. I need someone to take care of the house. Someone's there. Or if I need someone to take care of the kid for this day because I would be out for work, someone's there. You know, like, and it's always just so reassuring to have another generation kind of backing you up.
that's one of the things that I kind of struggle with, right? Because I would like to see what it's at least like to live in a different place, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, just in California, like I could just move up north and it would almost be completely different, right? But like just living in a different state or even a different country, you know what I mean? Because I don't have that experience. I've only been to what, like
a square radius of 4 miles. My entire life.
I've been to like 2 states and 2 countries.
Yeah.
Including this one. So one other country, you know what I mean? I haven't really gone anywhere else, you know? So it'd be nice to know what it's like to live in a different spot. And maybe if I like it, you know, stay there. But at the same time, if I don't have anybody there, if I don't have family or friends or anybody, or like, you know, a sense of like, you know, familiarity with an area, that maybe that would suck. Because I think the idea of having a community of family, which even kind of goes back to, remember how we were talking about like the whole like village thing that we wanted to build? Like, you know, like creating like a village kind of thing, maybe like creating that community would be really nice, because then you can essentially choose, you know, who becomes your family. You
should also just claim land in like the Midwest in it.
I mean, like, yeah. I don't know, because
we could do that.
You could do that, right? But then the thing is, I don't know.
I think claiming land's done, but you know, I think claiming land's done, but you can probably buy land
a homestead. Like, have you watched those videos?
I have not.
Where it's like people off the grid.
Oh, interesting.
They have like their own communities where it's just like, damn, they have their own source of power doing all that, and then they have like other people that's also doing the same thing.
I think they still just buy their own like land and stuff. You know, it's not like you can just go to a random spot and just be like put a flag.
Yeah,
that's like the Nazi flag. And be
now.
Like, it's mine now. You know.
There you can.
Oh, you're right.
Antarctica.
Oh, you're right. Because I would want to live in Antarctica.
Guys, I think we have to wait for Mars for that one.
You know, yeah.
Eminent domain all over Mars.
you think Elon Musk would try to buy Mars?
Yeah,
I feel like he is.
I mean, he's probably the only person that can at this point in time.
That's fair.
Bill Gates.
Guys, I think the era for like chunk claiming is done. Like it's over.
R/claim chunk.
Yeah, we can't do that anymore, guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
/claim chunk 4x4.
Yeah, we ran out of destiny to manifest.
Yeah, it's a destiny to manifest. Oh man. But yeah, no, I struggle with that sometimes, where I'm like, oh man, that'd be really cool if I could just go do that. But then like me leaving this area, right? Because I wouldn't want to live like too far away from my parents to that like it's like a struggle to even go see them during like holidays. and stuff. But I don't know. I'm just really into that idea of like creating a village and wanting to build that. And
You and me both. You and me both.
you guys want to be part of my village?
Yeah, man. I would love to be part. Josh was hesitant. Josh was thinking about it.
He's like, I don't know. You guys fucking
I don't want
suck.
to play Minecraft.
Can we play modded?
Yeah, can we do a modded server, guys?
That's funny. Yeah, no, I just like having that community sounds really nice because then it is like, you know, having like a group of people to like fall back on, not like to use them, you know, but just being like able to support each other, you know, when like it's needed.
But most family members kind of don't live in like the same city.
That's the part that like I think that contributed to my distance to like the family that I have, right? Because almost all of them, or you know, all of them live in different cities, lived in different counties, you know, some of them lived in different states or even countries, you know, my entire life. So I couldn't really connect with them in the way that I wanted to because it was really hard for me to go see them.
Yeah.
And the only time I saw them was for holidays, but that was like its own thing. You know, it was like a very planned, like specific day. And yeah, it wasn't easy to be like, hey, you know, can you watch Eric for like this weekend? Like you would have to like, it's a whole trek just to get over there so that they could watch me for a weekend, you know, which is, you know, why I would want to, you know, do the whole village thing because
this is a weird thing that was happening. Because speaking of watching kids, right? I mentioned how
sounds terrible out of context. Speaking of watching kids on what's that live leak?
Speaking of watching kids like down the street, like at the elementary school near us.
Oh man,
you ever want to just binocular watch kids on the
Binocular.
playground?
Binocular.
You ever want a binocular into a girl's locker room? Oh man.
Well,
Okay.
you can do that with the extended windshield on a Ford F-150.
You can get the submarine binoculars on a Ford F-150 and look at kids all you want. Okay. Anyways,
I mentioned that my family friend, when I visited my parents over the weekends, brought their small child over, and I had to watch him for a little bit, and I was doing manual labor in the yard, you know, like in indentured servitude. But
And then you threw the rake at him and you're like, do it.
you threw the kid.
well, technically that's what his mom did. I didn't do anything. His mom just went, go out there and then help out. And then he just went out there, and then someone threw him a little trouble and just started smacking shit in the backyard.
Nice.
And
Started breaking out the windshields.
Exactly. No, I'm never one to really like kids because I don't understand them, and I'm afraid that if I'm within the process of a child developing, I would fuck their life up. Just like no matter how small the involvement might be, you know. So that's a very, very, very real fear of mine.
To be fair, we're still all relatively young, so
Oh yeah, 100%.
We're also very cancelable.
Oh yeah.
So,
So
like,
if you
if I
listen
start-
to any amount of this podcast,
Yeah.
you
could find something to cancel us for. You
every
know?
episode, basically.
Yeah, pretty
there's
much
still
every
more to be
single episode.
canceled though.
I still think. Sorry to go back
No,
like
go
to
for
like
it.
a few episodes ago. I still think it was kind of wild how Josh was like, "Oh yeah, I saw that dick that was just, like bigger than a cannon." I was like, "Man, I wish that could fuck me." I was like, "Jesus, Jesus!" Oh man, no, that was fucking wild. So you're watching kids?
They're talking about.
I was watching Kid. Correction, just that one.
Oh, okay.
I'm loyal.
Oh. He's got a focus group.
Exactly.
Of one child.
One children.
One child's no childrenimals.
Two drawable. One Autobot.
Autobot.
Oh no, I just thought it was weird because for the first time, like ever,
You like the kid?
I in
You
a
enjoy
very
the kid.
platonic way. I like the kid. I feel like the kid. He has so much. No.
No, he said platonic. He's fine. He's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. In Minecraft, I like the kid in Minecraft.
What?
In game.
In
Whoa,
game.
whoa,
In game.
whoa.
In game.
He likes the kids.
I think Dream also liked the kid in Minecraft. But,
I think a lot of Minecraft YouTubers like kids in Minecraft.
That's so weird. That's such like a weird little thing that's happening. But you know, okay, yeah. So
I
you
don't
like
think it's
kids?
that big of a thing
I think
anymore.
it's not that weird. I was like, whoa.
Wow. Hello.
Hello.
No, I
So you
think
like the kid?
So you like this kid?
Yeah, I like
Are you
the
gonna
one
confess
kid.
your love for him?
Yeah, I'm loyal. I only like the one kid.
Or are you gonna save him for later?
That's the soundbite.
Maybe later.
Oh, okay.
No, not later.
Is he
anymore.
funny? Is he cool? Is he?
No, he's just full of wonder. Like he just sees like anything like a fucking piece of dirt, and he's so entertained by it. He's like, oh my god! And then he smacked it with a shovel, watched the piece of dirt break into multiple pieces of dirt, and he went, wow! And I was like, you know what?
Did
Good
he
for you,
age,
little
like, during
man.
that one sequence?
Yeah, pretty much. He was like, yeah, good for you, man. Like,
Whoa! Drink! Whoa!
Whoa.
whoa, oh my god.
Oh, I just matured there.
Oh.
I'm matured all over.
I don't know. I just find it very
Like the
fascinating
innocence
that
of
he's so happy about everything. Like partly out of envy, partly because I like I live vicariously through him. Like there's so much joy in him discovering something new, and there's so much for him to discover. You know. So it's dirt, little bugs, worms. The fact that when he's like fucking scratch concrete with metal, he can leave a line. Like it's small stuff like
You
that
still
that
don't
makes
get
him
impressed by that? I
so
do.
incredibly happy. And I'm just like, I'm rooting for you, kid. Like you go, man. You have a blast at it. You go for it, man. I just feel so happy for you. You know.
Do you know what's also wonderful? The end of this episode.
It's not the one. I've seen your balls again. I'm looking at some balls. Actually, no, I think I'm looking at his gooch right now. That's wonderful. Fills me with wonder.
Thank you all for listening to episode 39 of the Chucklefux podcast.
You think someone has a concave gooch?
I hope so.
Can we end it there? I'm not even
So
going
you
to say
just-
the socials.
so
Just
you
end
just-
it there.
You just like give it a little rub. Like,
Concave gooch. Can we talk about that next episode?
You ever met a man with a concave gooch? No matter how concave his gooch is, he will still feel comfortable in the enlarged heated seat of a new 2024
Heated seat.
F-150.
Oh man. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening to episode of the Chucklefux podcast.
Yep.
Follow us on the social media. We're on everything. If you
We
can't
are.
find us, then you're not
That's
looking
your
hard
fault.
enough. Yeah, you're not looking
Yeah.
hard enough.
Rate us if you want us to personally revive at least 25% of your grandparents.
No.
No.
10.
If you want 25% of grandparents, then
If you want a new dad, please.
new dad.
If
You have
want
one of three
more
to
dad,
choose from.
You have one of three
Yeah,
to choose
yeah,
from.
yeah.
Two of them are kind of chinky, and one of them is beige? Question mark.
Beige.
So pick your favorite kind of dad. Pick your favorite kind of shade of brown.
Yo, I should like cut up every single can to like get the balls out of the Guinness.
I'm sorry,
What?
what?
Oh, I forgot that there's balls in it.
Yeah, there's little balls inside.
Have you said Patty's Day, guys?
Yeah.